Typically, when you think about getting a crossover or an SUV that's also a plug-in hybrid, has a companion app, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, and a pretty good infotainment system, you're expecting to drop a huge chunk of cash. Kia thinks otherwise. The Kia Niro Hybrid packs a ton of tech features into a small package. Starting at $27,900, expect a lot of tech features, just not a lot of power. On the tech side, the automaker has embraced the idea that people are going to plug their phones into their cars. It supports Android Auto and Apple's CarPlay. Now, it does that stock. That's not an option. You don't have to pay extra for that. You buy this car, you can just plug in your phone and you're good to go. Now, that's not saying that the infotainment system is bad. It's actually pretty good. It's not breaking any new ground. It's not exciting, but it does have exactly what you want and it's easy to navigate. And on the home screen, it has a tiny map, has access to your media. It even has a little quick button so you can see the rest of the system. So it's everything you need. It's right there and easy to use. The touchscreen could do with a resolution upgrade, but that's typical on low-cost vehicles. Automakers tend to put a display in that you would find in a tablet from about 5 years ago. But what's not a half-decade old are the semi-autonomous features. The car ships with adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist. Now, both of those are stock. That means no extra money out of your pocket for those features. While the car is in adaptive cruise control, if it hits heavy traffic or the car in front of it is stopped, what happens is right before the car stops, it turns off the cruise control. And it starts to creep forward a little bit until you put on the brake, which is a bit unnerving when you're driving, especially if it's something you're not used to. The lane keep assist system works okay. It'll gently nudge you back into the center of your lane like it did just now, and it works great on straightaways and shallow turns, but anything sharper than that, and the system gets a bit wonky. But at slow speeds, it would be great and it'd be wonderful for gridlock if the adaptive cruise control could handle stop-and-go traffic. The thing is, none of these systems are perfect, and even luxury brands struggle to get it right. Plus, they charge a pretty penny for them. The Niro's slow. There's no nice way of putting it. It has 139 horsepower, which is, on the low end, and it has 194 foot-pounds of torque, which is, nice, but as you start depleting the battery, the get up and go in this car just sort of gets up and leaves, which kind of sucks because sometimes it's tough to keep up with traffic or people on bicycles or people who are running really fast. It does have a sport mode that makes driving a bit more palatable. And you're still going to get dusted by pretty much every other vehicle on the road, but at least you feel like you're making some sort of progress when you depress the accelerator. In addition to the hybrid and sport mode, there is a pure EV mode that is a happy medium between those two modes. Now, it has a range of 26 miles. That means I could drive this car to and from work with no worries about any sort of charging pit stops. Typically, I could go for weeks with this car without ever putting gas in it. The car has a combined city and highway mileage rating of 46 miles per gallon. Now, during my test while I was driving, I got about 41 miles per gallon, and that's with me putting it in sport mode pretty often because I'm extremely impatient. But when you do have to charge the 8.9 kilowatt hour battery, it'll take about 2.5 hours with your typical level 2 240 volt charger. Now, if you decide to charge it at home, just with the wall socket you got, 120 volt, that'll take about 9 hours, which is fine if you're going to be charging it overnight. Sadly, there is no DC fast charging option though. But no matter how you fill your car with electrons, you can keep track of it with the Uvo companion app and site. I found it to be helpful for starting the car on cold mornings, making sure I locked the doors, and checking on the car's charge while I was shopping. Plus, it has an owner's manual that's actually an augmented reality app, so you can just sort of point it at things and push buttons and it'll tell me about, oh, there's a trip odometer control, which is something I was actually looking for 5 minutes ago, so that's kind of cool. The Uvo app and service are also standard on the base model of this vehicle, which brings me to the price. I'm currently driving the EX Premium version of this car. It starts at $34,500. Now, with that extra cash, you get heated seats, a heated steering wheel, blind spot detection, parking assist, and a slightly bigger display, 8 inches instead of 7. But if you spend $6,600 less and just buy the base model, you still get all the top level features. You get adaptive cruise control, you get lane keep assist, you get smartphone connectivity, you get a pretty good infotainment system, and it's the exact same drivetrain. The Kia Niro is a quaint little crossover with a ton of tech. It's not fast, but it is practical. With a 26-mile EV-only mode, it could save you a ton of money in the long run.